I had an out-of-body experience in which God said to me, leave your husband and save the paper. And that's what I did.
What's up, half centenarians? You are not going to believe this. This is year 2. Me too. I'm blown away. I am blown away. Not to mention, this is year 2, but I'm here talking to someone from the first daily Black newspaper in the country, Atlanta Daily World. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution. She's from the Georgia gang. If you're in the Georgia or Atlanta area, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But if you do not, you need to look up Alexis Scott, because she's getting ready to drop some serious gems. She's done so many phenomenal things and is currently doing phenomenal stuff. You know why? She's a half centenarian. That's why. Check her out. Listen, half centenarians doing big things. Year 2, first one, Alexis Scott. We're coming at you. Don't play with us. Don't play with us. All right, half centenarians, welcome, welcome. You are now in for a treat. We've been talking and we have had so much fun sharing and learning about Miss Alexis Scott. But here's the thing. So it's been 8 years that I really wanted to meet her and never thought that I'd have a chance to do so. So that's what I'm going to say. Do not ever give up on the things you think about, because it could definitely come to pass, because I'm now sitting here with Alexis Scott, like a media personality, an icon here in Atlanta, Georgia. She's done so much on so many fronts, and I am super excited and humbled that you allowed us to come and share just a little bit of your time, pick your brain just a little bit. So I want you to introduce yourself to the Half Centenarian fam, and then we'll continue with the conversation.
Great. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to meet with you and share with you a little bit about my story, which is what I'm supposed to be working on right now. But I'm taking a break to talk about it. I guess I'll start with my career beginnings, which were with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Mainly the Atlanta Constitution was a morning paper when I started as a reporter there in 1974. Wow. I worked my way up through the ranks in the newsroom to become an assistant city editor, first Black woman to be that, first Black assistant city editor. And then I went from there to do the video edition. We did a video version of sections and features in the newspaper.
For the Atlanta Journal-Constitution? Wow, I didn't know that.
And then I became the general manager of that, because the director got sent to another paper to do it in another place. And we were doing more local programming than any of the local TV stations, actually.
The paper was. Okay.
Because we had Sports Thursday, we had Electronic Avenues, we called it, but gadgets. We had a Scoop for the kids, which was...
But you started as an educator or an educational reporter.
I was started as a general assignment, and then shortly thereafter, I was put on the education beat. Used to have assigned beats to cover. And I got a chance to cover the first school strike in history.
Wow. If I think about where I remembered you from...
the Georgia gang.
The Georgia gang.
Right.
Yes. So tell me, how did all of that happen? And then did your position in the paper help with that? And
well, it absolutely did.
Okay.
By leaving the Journal-Constitution, and I went from there out to Cox Enterprises, which is the company that owns the AJC.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was director of diversity and inclusion there. And I traveled around the country to all the different Cox properties to take training and diversity, make it a priority for the company. That was exciting.
You were training the employees?
I wasn't training. I was hiring people to train. Okay. But the goal was to get more women and more people of color up into management in various properties.
Do you think that was like a huge turning point in your life, like working for your family, or just the paper itself? Which one do you think?
Both. It was both. It was a huge turning point, because I changed everything. I used to complain about not having enough resources. I didn't know the meaning of the word until I got to the family business, because there were very few resources. They had cut back to 2 days a week because of the cost expense. The printing press had been put to bed because it was the original printing press, so they had stopped printing the paper and they were printing it, hiring it out to be printed at the time that I got there, and they didn't have any technology when I got there. They were
So you were just building.
Yeah, we didn't have voicemail. We didn't have. They were still typesetting and.
This is in what year?
1997.
Okay.
It's like, what?
Wow. The thing that I just wanted to tell you, so I told you at the beginning when we first met, I was like, 8 years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, it was just the knowledge. It was just to me, you just looked so comfortable. But by the time I saw you, maybe you were,
Well, I got a little more comfortable than I was initially because I was...
Well, you've been doing it 10 years by the time I saw you.
Okay.
So you had this level of comfort and so much knowledge, and you gave them the what for and the how-tos and all of that stuff. And when you think about your life at that point, I don't know what your age was, but as half-centenarians, I like to always share that when you get to be 50, life can kind of really be just beginning because you really know yourself and things are starting to happen. So what do you think happened in your life, like when you got to be 50? Were you still on the Georgia Gang? Were you still working in the paper? What was happening in your life then?
When I was 50, I was not yet on the Georgia Gang.
Oh, wow. Look at that. It happened after. So that's even better.
Right.
Okay.
I was 50 in 1999.
Wow.
And I started the Georgia Gang a couple of years later. But the other thing that happened was that I didn't say before was that I had an out-of-body experience in which God said to me, leave your husband and save the paper. And that's what I did. So I had been married for 24 years.
Wow. Okay.
And I was divorced in the end of 1998. And
right before you were 50.
Right before I was 50.
Yeah.
And did that, just took the paper. And I couldn't focus on both things at the same time. Yeah.
And not to mention you're remarried now.
Yes. And I got married 20 years after being divorced. So I got married in 2018, yeah.
There's hope for me.
There's hope for everybody.
Don't say that. Me.
Okay, it's hope for you.
But there is hope for everybody because a lot of times you talk to people and you just assume that's not going to happen either. But you're writing a book. You're putting your memoir together. So you're very busy. You're a chief administrative officer. I mean, you wear a lot of hats still. So as I ask people that are on the show all the time, how are you living your best life?
Just day by day. And I have my physical challenges.
Yeah.
I've had both hips, both knees replaced, and one tendon severed, so I'm having mobility issues. But so far with COVID, I'm not minded.
Right.
But as I get more active, I want to be able to get active again. I used to walk a lot. I even walked in the ran in the Peachtree Road race once.
That's better than most because I haven't done it at all.
Yeah.
So, but you will, just like you said, once you start getting your mobility back, you'll move around. COVID did allow you to be inside more and not feel, too bad about having, the ability or not the ability to move around as much. But as you start moving around, start getting up, who knows, you might be in the Peachtree Run again.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I'm mad about that because when I ran, it was the year 1979, and you had to run within an hour in order to get a T-shirt. It's a 6-mile race.
Okay.
And I made it in 75 minutes instead of 60
Didn't
minutes.
Didn't get a T-shirt.
And after that, now everybody gets a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I'm mad at them because I didn't get my T-shirt in 1979 so they can have their race.
Well, I'm going to give you a T-shirt. I gave you a bag, and we'll give you a cup. We'll give you a T-shirt. You don't have to run 6 miles to do it. But I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to be here. This has been such an honor sharing your story. We look forward to the memoir, to the play, to all of the wonderful things that you were doing. And don't ever give up. You just don't know who you're affecting. Because again, 8 years ago, I'm sitting watching you on TV and I'm thinking, she has, for some reason, such a wonderful, just an impact on me. And here I'm sitting with you now. So out of tragedy comes wonderful opportunities. So I was dating someone at the time that shall remain nameless. But he opened me up to Georgia Gang. There you are, and here you are now with me. So thank you so much. This has been such an honor.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what comes out of that memoir, what's in the memoir that I didn't hear today.
All right.
And you guys go out, check out Alexis Scott. those things that she's doing, I'm sure you can always go back and research all of the wonderful papers and news events that you've covered. Keep your head up. Always remember that you never know who you're touching. Year 2, you guys. Round 2.
All right.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, talk, chat, call, whatever you need to do. House Centenarians, we rock it. Keep doing your thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Great.